Hello and welcome to BrightSide Tales. Are you feeling caught in the relentless current of modern life? Does the constant barrage of noise, the endless pressure to engage, to have an opinion, to strive to win, leave you feeling depleted? Do you sometimes yearn with every fiber of your being for a quiet space, a moment of true stillness, where you don't have to argue, don't have to prove anything, where you can simply breathe and be? Many of us feel this way. We are adrift in a sea of stimulation, and our souls crave an anchor. What if I told you that this anchor, this profound strength and clarity you seek, isn't found in adding more, but in embracing something often overlooked, even devalued in our fast-paced world? What if the deepest wisdom, the most resilient peace, and the truest understanding of life's intricate dance are found in silence, in a gentle heart, and in recognizing the subtle but unwavering laws that govern our existence? Today we embark on a journey together, a journey into the heart of silence to uncover its hidden power, a journey to understand the profound, quiet blessing that flows from true gentleness and kindness, and a journey to demystify the universal principle of cause and effect, what many call karma. This isn't just a philosophical discussion. It's an exploration of practical wisdom that can fundamentally shift how you experience your life, how you navigate its challenges, and how you cultivate a deep, abiding sense of peace. So find a comfortable space, allow yourself to settle, and open your mind and heart. What you are about to hear isn't just for listening, it's for deep contemplation. Because the truths we explore today have the power to illuminate your path and guide you toward a more meaningful, more serene, and more empowered existence. Welcome to BrightSide Tales, the profound wisdom of silence. We live in a world that often equates verbosity with knowledge, the loudest voice with authority. But how often have you emerged from a conversation, perhaps one filled with eloquent pronouncements and passionate arguments, feeling strangely empty, untouched in the depths of your being? It's a common experience. We learn as we journey through life that a torrent of words doesn't necessarily equate to a wealth of understanding. True wisdom is often far quieter. Think of a mighty waterfall. Powerful, impressive, undeniably loud. It crashes and roars, yet its impact can be fleeting, scattering its force. Now picture a deep, still well. It sits in silence, unassuming. But when you draw from it, it offers cool, clear, life-sustaining water, consistently, reliably. The human mind, when cultivated in stillness, is much like that deep well. It doesn't need to broadcast its depth with constant noise. Many people talk incessantly because they crave validation. They want to prove their knowledge, their worth. But someone who genuinely understands, who possesses true wisdom, feels no such compulsion for outward display. Their wisdom permeates their very being, their aura, their quiet confidence. It's felt in their presence, not just heard in their pronouncements. I recall a story of an old man in a small village. He rarely spoke, never interjected into gossip or trivial chatter. He spent much of his time simply observing, listening. But on the rare occasions he did offer a word, the entire village would fall silent, listening intently. Why? Because his words, born from long contemplation and deep listening, were like rays of light piercing through fog, offering clarity and profound insight. He had earned the right to be heard because he had mastered the art of listening. This is a powerful lesson for us all. Try just for a day to speak a little less and listen a great deal more. You'll begin to notice things you never did before. You'll realize that some insights so precious and wise in their silent form can become shallow, even trivial, if spoken too hastily or without consideration. There are moments when silence communicates with a power that 1,000 words could never achieve. It's in the dignified stillness when faced with an unjust accusation, the calm refusal to engage in a pointless argument, the serene smile that meets a verbal attack. This isn't the silence of fear or ignorance. It's the silence of strength of choice. It's the heart carefully selecting its response or choosing non-response, knowing that sometimes peace is preserved not by winning an argument, but by refusing to participate in a battle of egos. Someone once shared a story of being deeply misunderstood, falsely accused. Their initial instinct was to fight back, to offer a barrage of explanations and defenses, but instead they chose silence. They simply withdrew, held their peace. And in time, as it so often does, the truth found its own way to the surface without a single word of self-justification from them. There are heroes of eloquent speech, yes, but there are also heroes of profound silence. Their stillness compels others to reflect, to reconsider their own assumptions. The next time you find yourself in a difficult, emotionally charged situation, resist the urge to immediately react with words. Take a breath. Choose a moment of silence. Observe. You might find that this quiet pause earns you more respect and offers more clarity than any torrent of explanations. The wise person is a master observer. They don't rush to judgment. They step back metaphorically to see the entire chessboard, not just the next move. They understand that the most effective move isn't always the quickest, but the one made at the precisely right moment, born from careful observation. This act of observing without immediate reaction is a form of profound wisdom. It's allowing your heart and mind to settle like a pool of water, becoming still after a stone has been tossed in, so that it can clearly reflect the sky above. Many of the most successful and insightful people you'll meet are often quiet, especially in new situations. They listen, they watch, they absorb. It's as if they can read the subtle currents of a room, the unspoken intentions of others, simply by being present and observant. Their minds aren't cluttered with the need to speak. They are open to receive. Consider the father who saw his child being wrongly accused by others in a bustling marketplace. He didn't immediately jump to his child's defense with loud protestations. He stood quietly observing the entire scene, his gaze deep and thoughtful. Then, with gentle firmness, he asked his child a simple question: "Did you truly do this?" The weight of his calm, observant presence, the clarity in his eyes, was more powerful than any scolding. It was in that quiet space that the child felt safe enough and convicted enough to admit their mistake. So before you speak, learn to look. Before you react, choose to feel, to observe. The more adept you become at quiet observation, the more missteps, misunderstandings, and unnecessary wounds you will avoid. Truth, real, unvarnished truth, often resides in the quiet spaces, in what is not said. Sincere emotions, deep connections, often express themselves not in grand declarations, but in a shared glance, a comforting presence, a hand held in silence. Words can be a facade, a carefully constructed mask, but the tremor in a voice, the averted gaze, the pregnant pause, these can betray the hidden truth. To perceive these subtle signals, you need a still heart, a quiet mind. A woman once shared how she realized her partner's deep betrayal. It wasn't through a confession or an accusation. It was during a quiet afternoon when she suddenly noticed his eyes no longer held the same light when they looked at her. The silence in his gaze told her more than any words ever could. Learn to read the silences, listen to the unspoken, and most importantly, trust that quiet intuition that arises from the stillness within your own heart. Sometimes speaking less is the most effective way to understand the true nature of the people around you. Try it. Be quiet for a while. Observe who draws closer, concerned for your well-being. Notice who drifts away, perhaps, because your silence no longer provides them the reactions they sought to manipulate or control. Silence can be a remarkably effective filter for genuine connection. When you cease to be the initiator, you see who truly values the connection enough to maintain it. There's the story of a middle-aged man unjustly disgraced in his workplace through malicious rumors. He didn't fight back, didn't sue, didn't engage in public mudslinging. He simply withdrew quietly. Years later, the truth of his innocence and the accuser's deceit came to light. He was invited back, vindicated, his reputation restored, and even enhanced by his dignified silence. His quiet retreat wasn't defeat. It was the patient strength of someone who understood that value isn't lost by refusing to engage in an unworthy battle. Indeed, his silence preserved his dignity and allowed truth to do its work. Remember, words are a precious gift, but they are also a potent weapon. Uncontrolled, they become a double-edged sword capable of wounding not only others, but ourselves. How many careers have been derailed, friendships shattered, families torn apart by words spoken in anger or thoughtlessness? We think we are merely venting, but often we are severing precious connections, inflicting wounds that may never fully heal. After a heated argument, do we remember who was right or wrong? Or do we remember the cruel words that felt like daggers to the heart? Once spoken words are like arrows loosed from a bow. They cannot be recalled. The wise person understands this. They guard their speech, especially when emotions run high. They know that not every provocation requires a rebuttal. Not every accusation needs a defense. Sometimes silence is the strongest shield protecting us from uttering words we will inevitably regret. A mother faced with disrespectful words from her child chose not to scold or weep, but simply to be silent. That profound, unwavering silence became a lifelong lesson for the child, evoking a deeper remorse than any punishment could have. So before you speak, pause. Take a deep breath. That single moment of quiet reflection can preserve a relationship, maintain trust, and protect a precious connection. This kind of silence isn't emptiness. It's a sign of profound inner strength. It's easy to mistake the quiet person for someone lacking in confidence or capability. But if you've ever encountered someone truly serene, someone who is master of their inner world, you will feel a powerful energy emanating from their stillness. It's not the silence of fear, but the calm of self-possession. They can enter a room and without uttering a single word, command respect. This inner force, this gravitas, is cultivated through years of self-discipline, quiet observation, and the consistent choice to master one's impulses rather than be driven by them. They don't need to shout to be heard. They don't need to argue to prove they are right. Their very presence speaks volumes. The old sage who simply smiled and walked on when faced with mockery or criticism understood this. His silence over time became the most profound teaching for those who had eyes to see. Inner strength is nurtured in these moments of deliberate, patient silence. Each time you restrain an angry word, each time you choose calm over chaos, you are adding to your inner reservoir of power. Life can be seen as a grand stage where everyone plays a role. Some play the victim seeking pity. Others play the strong, silent type, perhaps to mask inner fear. If you only look with your eyes and listen with your ears, you can easily be deceived by these carefully crafted performances. But the truly wise observe in silence. They don't rush to categorize or judge. They allow their inner stillness to act as a mirror, reflecting the truth more clearly. Imagine a tense board meeting. Everyone is talking over each other, voices rising, desperate to dominate the conversation. The true leader often sits quietly, observing every nuance, the words, the body language, the underlying motivations. Then, with a few carefully chosen words spoken at the right moment, they bring clarity and order to the chaos. This is the power of observation nurtured in silence. It's a precision tool that allows us to see through the surface, to discern the real from the artificial, the truth from the pretense. If you are quick to believe every word you hear, you are likely to be hurt often. Slow down, observe, listen deeply. When you are still enough, you will see what others try to hide, and you will not be so easily drawn into their dramas. And perhaps most importantly, silence allows us to hear the most crucial voice of all, the voice within. In our hyper-connected, noisy world, we are constantly bombarded with external stimuli, notifications, news feeds, opinions, demands. But our own inner wisdom, our intuition is often drowned out. We feel tired, anxious, lost, and we don't know why. It's often because we haven't created the space to listen to ourselves. Find a few moments each day for true quiet. No phone, no distractions, just you and your breath. Even 10 minutes of dedicated stillness can bring remarkable clarity, revealing insights and feelings that the noise had previously obscured. Silence isn't just for understanding others, it's for understanding yourself. Within you resides a profound wisdom, long neglected, waiting patiently to be heard. Finally, the wisdom of silence also teaches us when to speak. It's not about perpetual muteness, it's about speaking at the right time to the right person, about the right thing and in the right way. A word of encouragement spoken at the perfect moment can save a soul. A criticism, however well-intentioned, delivered at the wrong time, can destroy a relationship. The person who understands this wields their words with care, with compassion, and with wisdom. They speak not from raw emotion, but from considered thought. A Zen master once conducted an entire discourse without uttering a single word. As the assembly grew restless at the very end, he simply said, "You have all had enough words. Now what is needed is silence." That one sentence, born from profound stillness, resonated more deeply than 1,000 lectures. So speak less, but when you do speak, let your words have weight, let them have value. For sometimes one thoughtfully chosen sentence, emerging from a place of quiet wisdom, can illuminate more than an entire volume of discourse. The enduring blessing of gentleness. In a world that often seems to glorify the assertive, the competitive, even the ruthless, the path of gentleness, of kindness, is often misunderstood. The gentle person who avoids conflict, who doesn't clamor for the spotlight, who readily yields, can easily be labeled as weak, naive, or even foolish. They're too nice for their own good, we might hear. But is this true? Is a gentle heart truly a handicap in this pragmatic world? Or could it be that gentleness, true benevolence, is a profound strength, a source of an enduring, quiet blessing? Consider a small, unassuming stream. It doesn't roar like a mighty torrent or display the vastness of the ocean. It flows quietly, consistently, often unseen. Yet its gentle, persistent presence nourishes entire forests, quenches the thirst of countless creatures, and carves its path through even the hardest stone over time. The truly gentle person is much like this stream. Their influence may be subtle, their actions often unheralded, but they cultivate peace, nurture connections, and possess an inner resilience that is deeply powerful. This gentleness is not the passivity of ignorance or fear. It is a conscious choice born from a heart that has seen enough of life to understand the futility of endless strife. It's the wisdom to know that yielding in a small matter can preserve a greater harmony. It's not that the gentle person doesn't feel anger. It's that they have learned to manage it, to choose patience over outburst, understanding over retaliation. It's not that they cannot compete. It's that they recognize many of life's supposed competitions are simply traps for the ego, and they choose instead the path of inner peace. This gentleness cultivates a unique kind of blessing, an inner fuk juk, as it's known in some traditions. This isn't always about material wealth or high status, though those can sometimes follow. It's a deeper richness, a sense of inner peace, the love and respect of others freely given, and an uncanny ability to attract help and support in times of need. Look around at the genuinely kind and gentle people in your life. They may not be the wealthiest or most famous, but are they not often the most loved? When they face hardship, do people not naturally want to help them? This is because their consistent kindness, their lack of malice, creates an atmosphere of trust and goodwill. They are like a sturdy tree that, while not boasting the most flamboyant flowers, offers generous shade and a place of rest to all who seek it. Their inherent goodness is a magnet for positive connections. A gentle heart is not one that is incapable of anger or sadness. Gentle people feel pain, experience disappointment, and suffer injustice just like anyone else. The difference lies in their response. Instead of exploding in anger, which only escalates conflict and wounds others, they have learned to process these emotions inwardly to allow them to settle. Think of a kettle of tea. A wise person doesn't let it boil over scalding everything around it. They keep the heat just right, allowing the leaves to infuse the flavors to develop the sediment to settle. Similarly, a gentle person allows difficult emotions to be acknowledged and then to settle, preventing them from erupting destructively. They understand that words spoken in the heat of anger can inflict wounds that time may never fully heal. There's a story of a grandmother who endured considerable disrespect from her daughter-in-law, yet she never responded with harshness or anger. When asked why she didn't stand up for herself more forcefully, she'd smile gently and say, "If I also become a storm, who will keep the peace in this house?" Her quiet patience, her commitment to harmony, was a profound act of love and wisdom. This kind of forbearance isn't weakness. It's the intelligent choice to preserve relationships, to maintain inner tranquility, and to sow seeds of peace rather than discord. It often appears that gentle, kind people suffer more setbacks, are taken advantage of more easily, and bear more than their fair share of burdens, especially in the short term. And this can be true. However, life has a mysterious way of balancing the books. The law of cause and effect ensures that consistent goodness, patience, and forgiveness, while perhaps unrewarded, immediately will eventually yield a harvest of blessings. This may not be a visible material reward, but often manifests as unexpected help in times of crisis, loyal friendships, a sense high off inner peace that withstands external storms, or a resolution to problems that seems almost miraculous. An old farmer known for his gentle nature once lent a portion of his land to a neighbor for cultivation. Over time, the neighbor slowly encroached, taking more and more of the farmer's land. The farmer, though aware of the injustice, chose not to engage in a bitter dispute. He accepted the loss with quiet resignation. Some years later, a severe landslide occurred in the region. The very land that had been unjustly taken was swept away, while the farmer's remaining portion remained intact. People called it luck, but perhaps it was the quiet reward for a heart that chose peace over bitterness, a heart that didn't harbor resentment. The path of gentleness may involve enduring some initial hardship, but those who walk it with a sincere heart often find that their burdens are lightened in unexpected ways, and that true lasting blessings find their way to them. Perhaps one of the most profound aspects of true gentleness is the capacity to extend kindness, even to those who have caused us pain. It is one thing to be kind to those who are kind to us. It is quite another to maintain a compassionate heart in the face of betrayal, cruelty, or injustice. This is not easy. But the person who can do this, who can prevent their heart from becoming poisoned by bitterness, even after being deeply wounded, possesses a rare and powerful spiritual strength. They are like a clear pool of water. Someone may come and stir up mud from the bottom, clouding its clarity. An reactive person would stir it further in anger. But a person of cultivated gentleness allows the disturbance to pass, allows the mud to settle, and the water in time returns to its natural clarity. There was an old woman, let's call her May, who was once cheated out of her home and savings by a close relative. It was a devastating betrayal. Yet years later, when this same relative fell into dire straits, destitute and alone, May opened her door and took them in. When questioned by bewildered neighbors about her seemingly inexplicable compassion, she simply smiled and said, "To forgive another is to open a door for peace in my own heart." Her words, though soft, carried immense weight. True gentleness is this courageous ability to forgive, to remain soft in the face of hardness, to uphold a standard of kindness in a world often cynical and harsh. Not everyone can do this, but those who can sow a type of karmic seed that yields a blessing far greater than any material wealth, the blessing of a truly magnanimous and peaceful soul. It's important to understand that this kind of profound gentleness is rarely an inborn trait. We all have the capacity for both kindness and cruelty within us. The gentle person is someone who, through conscious effort and self-cultivation, consistently chooses the path of kindness. They choose silence when they could unleash a storm of anger. They choose to yield when they could easily win a confrontation. They choose to consider the feelings of others, even when they could justifiably act out of self-interest. This gentleness is the result of a long, often arduous process of taming the ego, of learning to observe one's own reactions, of choosing peace over being right. It's like a skilled gardener. They weren't born with a green thumb. They developed their skill through years of patiently tilling the soil, planting seeds, weeding and nurturing. Similarly, the gentle person cultivates a kind heart through seasons of difficulty, through lessons learned from their own mistakes and the challenges life throws their way. So do not mistake gentleness for a passive default state. It is an active, courageous path chosen by those who understand that true strength lies not in dominance, but in benevolence, and that this path, though perhaps more challenging, is the one that truly cultivates lasting blessings and deep inner peace. Those who are truly cultivating this inner blessing often do so quietly without fanfare. They help others without needing acknowledgement, share what they have without broadcasting their generosity, and forgive without demanding an audience. They understand that good deeds don't need a spotlight to be effective, like the gentle spring breeze unseen, yet causing buds to bloom and life to flourish. Their quiet acts of kindness create ripples of positive energy. An old man in a poor neighborhood faithfully collected leftover food each day to feed stray cats and dogs. He never spoke of it, never sought praise. But when he fell ill, the entire neighborhood rallied to care for him, remembering his quiet, consistent compassion. The blessings he received were not solicited. They arose naturally from the goodness he had sown. True blessings don't need to be announced with trumpets. They are the sweet fruit that grows from seeds of kindness, planted in the soil of a sincere heart. The earth remembers every seed. This path of gentleness also brings with it a profound sense of fearlessness. Someone who consistently engages in harmful actions, who lives with deceit and malice, invariably lives with a background hum of anxiety. They fear exposure, retribution, the eventual consequences of their actions. But the person who lives with a clear conscience, who strives to harm no one, who deals honestly and kindly with others, experiences a deep inner peace. They sleep soundly. They face adversity with a certain equanimity. They meet strangers with an open heart, not a suspicious one. Living gently is like walking barefoot on cool, soft grass. Your steps are light, unhurried, and free from the fear of hidden thorns. Living with duplicity, on the other hand, is like wearing expensive shoes filled with pebbles. Outwardly impressive perhaps, but inwardly a source of constant discomfort. Gentleness is more than just a virtue. It's a powerful form of self-protection against the turmoil of a troubled mind. The cleaner your heart, the fewer your worries. The gentler your spirit, the lighter your burdens. There's an age-old belief found in many cultures that heaven or the universe does not abandon the truly kind and gentle soul. Though they may face trials, though their rewards may not be immediate, there is an underlying sense that their goodness will ultimately be recognized and reciprocated. The blessings of the gentle may arrive quietly, subtly, but they arrive when most needed, and in ways that affirm the profound truth that a life of integrity is indeed the brightest path. We see it in the lives of those who, having lived quietly without striving for prominence or wealth, find themselves surrounded by love and support. In their old age, their needs met, their hearts at peace. This is the harvest of a lifetime spent sowing seeds of kindness without calculation, like a seed buried deep in the earth which sprouts when the rains finally come. The good sown in a gentle heart will eventually flourish when the conditions are right. The gentle soul doesn't need to make elaborate pleas. By simply living without malice, without causing pain, by cultivating compassion, they align themselves with the benevolent forces of the universe. Living gently is a lifelong practice, a lesson to be renewed each morning. There will be days when you feel provoked, when the urge to retaliate, to assert your rights forcefully is strong. But then, if you have committed to this path, you will remember that you choose gentleness, not because you are weak, but because you value your inner peace above the fleeting satisfaction of winning an argument or proving a point. It won't always be easy. You will be misunderstood. You will feel overlooked. You might even sometimes feel foolish. But then, in a quiet moment of reflection, you will notice that despite everything, your heart is still relatively at peace. And that peace is your reward, your blessing. Perfection is not the goal. The gentle person isn't someone who never falters. They are someone who, when they do stumble, when they act out of anger or selfishness, recognizes their misstep, feels genuine remorse, and strives to do better. They are like a river. It may encounter rocks. Its waters may sometimes become muddied, but it continues to flow, continues to seek the path of least resistance, continues to bring life and refreshment, and ultimately continues its journey toward the vast, clear ocean. Each day lived with a conscious effort towards gentleness is another seed of light planted for your own future and for the world around you. The gentle person understands the wisdom of yielding, of making way. Life often presents us with choices to push forward, to fight for dominance, or to step back to yield for the sake of a greater peace. The gentle heart often chooses to step back not from fear, but from a deep understanding that some victories are Pyrrhic, costing more in inner peace than they are worth in external gain. How many people have sacrificed their integrity for a fleeting moment of glory, or shattered a lifelong friendship over a single sharp word? The gentle person knows when to yield, to preserve their heart, when to step aside, to preserve a blessing. Sometimes stepping back on the road of life is what prevents a major collision. This isn't about being left behind. It's about going deeper within to discern what is truly worth holding on to and what is best released. Those who know how to yield to the flow of life Without bitter resistance, avoid being caught in the vortex of resentment. They live in harmony with circumstance, and so even when life tilts, their inner compass remains steady. In many ways, to live gently is to swim against the current of the modern world. Our society often applauds the flashy, the assertive, the quick-witted. The quiet, unassuming, gentle person can be dismissed as slow, out of touch, lacking ambition. But pause and consider who truly possesses inner peace. The person constantly striving, calculating, worrying about their image. Do they sleep soundly? The one always wearing a mask to please others. Do they ever truly live as themselves? The gentle soul, though perhaps not in the spotlight, walks their path without the burden of pretense, without the fear of exposure. To live gently may be to go against the grain, but it is often in this countercurrent that the water is clearest. By not jostling for position, they preserve the integrity of their soul, unswayed by the shifting winds of public opinion. The world may call them simple, but the universe has a way of quietly showering its blessings upon those who disturb no one, who pollute no waters, who cause no heart to ache unnecessarily. The gentle person often doesn't need to say much, yet they are deeply trusted. Someone who constantly preaches morality isn't necessarily moral. Someone who constantly professes love doesn't necessarily know how to love. But the gentle person's life is their sermon. Their actions, their demeanor, their quiet consistency speak volumes. When such a person does speak, their words carry weight, not because of their volume or eloquence, but because of the authenticity behind them. Like gentle rain that silently soaks a field, their quiet presence nourishes and reassures. You don't need to announce your kindness. You simply need to live it. And the gentle person understands that true kindness is found not in grand pronouncements, but in countless small acts performed with a sincere and unresentful heart. Ultimately, it is this quiet gentleness, this consistent benevolence that makes a life truly memorable. When we look back, it's rarely the most brilliant or the most powerful who touch our hearts most deeply. It is the kindest, the most genuinely gentle souls we have encountered. They may not have been famous or wealthy or remarkably eloquent, but their way of being left an indelible mark. Perhaps it was the elderly neighbor who always had a smile and a sweet treat for the children, the taxi driver who, on a rainy night, went out of his way for a stranded stranger without expecting extra fare, the quiet classmate who shared their lunch when you had none. Gentleness makes no loud claims, but it imprints itself deeply on the human heart. People will forget who was rich, who was famous, who was important, but they will never forget who treated them with genuine, unpretentious kindness. So do not fear that living gently will lead to being forgotten. Any heart warmed by your kindness will carry that ember of warmth within its memory always. This path of gentleness may not help you conquer the world, but it will most assuredly help you conquer yourself. And in the grand scheme of things, that is the only victory that truly matters. Everyone desires to win, but there are two kinds of victory: victory over others and victory over oneself. While many are caught in the frenetic race for external dominance, the wise choose a different path. The slower, quieter path of cultivating the heart, of mastering the self. The gentle person may not engage in worldly battles, but each time they choose patience over anger, forgiveness over resentment, compassion over condemnation, they are winning a profound inner victory. These are the quiet triumphs unseen by the world that form the bedrock of a truly peaceful and meaningful life. The gentle person understands that the purpose of life is not to defeat others, but to live in alignment with the inherent goodness of their own heart, regardless of how the world around them behaves. And when you live this way, you need no external applause to know that you have lived a life of true worth. Karma, the unfailing law of cause and effect. I strive to live a good life, to be kind and honest. So why do I still encounter so much suffering? And why do those who are deceitful, even cruel, seem to prosper without consequence? This is a question that has echoed through the hearts of countless good people, a cry of bewilderment that can lead to disillusionment, bitterness, and a crisis of faith in the fundamental fairness of life. Some, observing these apparent injustices, allow their once kind hearts to grow cold, their generous spirits to become tinged with resentment. This pain is understandable, but it often stems from a misunderstanding of how the profound law of cause and effect, karma, truly operates. Karma is not a simplistic system of immediate rewards and punishments, like a cosmic judge handing out sentences on the spot. It is a subtle, intricate, and unfailing natural law, as fundamental to the universe as gravity. It operates on its own timeline, often far grander and more complex than our limited human perception can grasp. It is the unwavering truth that for every action there is a consequence. For every cause there is an effect. This isn't superstition. It's a description of the interconnectedness of all things. Imagine a farmer sowing seeds. Some seeds sprout within days. Others take weeks, months, or even years, depending on their nature and the conditions. Similarly, the seeds of our actions, our thoughts, our words, our deeds, also have varying gestation periods. The person who sows the wind of negativity might not reap the whirlwind of consequences today or tomorrow, but the storm is gathering its energy, accumulating with each continued act. Conversely, the seeds of kindness and integrity you plant today may not yield an immediate visible harvest, but they are taking root, drawing nourishment, and will undoubtedly blossom in due season. It's crucial to understand that karma isn't primarily about punishment or reward handed down by an external entity. It is more akin to an echo or a reflection, the energy you send out into the world through your intentions and actions inevitably creates a corresponding pattern that will return to you. This isn't to frighten, but to empower. It means you are not a helpless victim of circumstance, but an active co-creator of your reality. When you see someone acting unethically, yet appearing to flourish, it's possible they are currently enjoying the fruits of positive actions from a distant past, perhaps even from previous lifetimes, according to some philosophies. However, if they are simultaneously sowing negative seeds in the present, they are depleting their reserves of positive karma and accumulating a debt that will eventually come due. Think of a magnificent old tree. It may look strong and vibrant on the outside, but if its roots are silently rotting beneath the surface, it can only stand for so long. Eventually, a strong wind will expose its hidden weakness, and it will come crashing down. Conversely, someone living a virtuous life might be experiencing hardship now because they are clearing old karmic debts. Or perhaps their current positive actions are like a young sapling, still small and vulnerable, but with strong roots that will ensure its future growth and fruitfulness. The lotus seed, a symbol of purity, must first be buried deep in mud and darkness for a long time before it can rise through the water and unfold its exquisite blossom in the sunlight. Your good deeds are never in vain. They are your lotus seeds. Life can be viewed as a vast field of the mind. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, every action you take is a seed dropped into this field. You cannot plant thorns and expect to harvest roses. You cannot sow discord and expect to reap peace. If someone is experiencing abundance and joy today, it is likely because they or their lineage have diligently cultivated seeds of generosity and kindness in previous seasons. If someone is facing relentless hardship, it may be the bitter fruit of past negative sowings, whether consciously or unconsciously done. Karma is not hasty. It works patiently, meticulously weaving the consequences of our actions into the fabric of our circumstances, our relationships, and our inner states. The more mindful you become, the more you will see this intricate dance of cause and effect playing out in your own life and in the world around you. There are no true accidents, no meaningless coincidences when viewed through the lens of karma. This understanding should not lead to despair or fatalism, but to a profound sense of responsibility and hope. If today's circumstances are in part the result of past actions, then today's actions are actively shaping your future. Therefore, do not waste energy in bitter complaint or helpless anxiety. Instead, focus on diligently cultivating your inner field. Water it with kindness, fertilize it with compassion, weed out negativity, and plant seeds of positive intention, wholesome speech, and constructive action. This is how you build a future harvest of peace and well-being. Sometimes the suffering we experience in the present moment is not a punishment, but a purification. Life can bring us to our knees, leaving us feeling overwhelmed, heartbroken, and wondering what we did to deserve such pain. But from a karmic perspective, these difficult periods can be opportunities for profound growth and cleansing. Imagine a pot of water being boiled to purify it. The impurities must rise to the surface and be skimmed off. Or think of a tree shedding its old dead leaves in autumn to make way for fresh new growth in the spring. Similarly, karmic suffering can be the process of burning off old negative energies, resolving past debts, and clearing the path for a brighter future. The person who understands this doesn't rail against fate when adversity strikes. They meet challenges with a certain patient acceptance, knowing that each difficulty endured with awareness and without adding new negativity like resentment or hatred can lighten their karmic load. Trust that after the darkest clouds, the sun will shine again. If you can bear today's hardship without succumbing to bitterness, if you can maintain a kind heart even in the midst of your own pain, then the sweet fruits of your resilience and virtue will undoubtedly find their way to you often when you least expect it. Remember, our blessings and our misfortunes are not random. They have roots. And these roots are found in the quality of our thoughts, the nature of our words, and the intention behind our actions. Many people focus only on their outward deeds, forgetting that a mind filled with hatred, jealousy, or ill will is constantly sowing negative karmic seeds, even if no physical action is taken. That toxic inner energy will inevitably create a toxic outer reality or a deeply unhappy inner state. Conversely, a person who consistently cultivates a kind heart, speaks gentle and truthful words, and thinks compassionate thoughts, is building a powerful shield of positive energy, a reservoir of good karma that will sustain and protect them even if their outward circumstances are modest. This is true fuk juk, or blessing. It's not just about grand acts of charity, but about the small, consistent choices we make in our inner and outer lives. Every time you restrain an angry impulse, every time you offer a sincere word of encouragement, every time you genuinely wish well for another, even an enemy, the universe silently records these subtle energies, and in its perfect timing they return to us, often multiplied. Karma is not a vengeful deity waiting to strike us down. It is more like a gentle, persistent reminder from the universe, a feedback mechanism designed to guide us back to a path of harmony and wisdom. When you misstep and find yourself on a muddy, treacherous path, the mud on your shoes isn't there to shame you. It's there to make you pause, look down, and reconsider your direction. Similarly, suffering in life isn't meant to crush you. It's meant to awaken you. If someone hurts you deeply today, perhaps it's an echo of a past hurt you inflicted on another, or a lesson in the true meaning of forgiveness and trust. A significant failure might be the universe's way of teaching you humility or redirecting you to a more authentic path. If you can look at life's challenges through this lens of karmic learning, you will see that even the most painful experiences can carry a hidden gift, a profound, albeit sometimes disguised message of love from a universe that wants you to grow. People often ask, if I'm living a good life, why do I still face so many problems? What they may not see is that perhaps without their accumulated good karma, those problems would have been far more severe, even insurmountable. Having good karma, or juk, doesn't mean a life devoid of challenges. It means that when challenges arise, you will find unexpected support, a way through a light at the end of the tunnel. Notice how often genuinely kind and ethical people, even when they fall, seem to land on their feet or find a helping hand reaching out just when they need it most. This isn't mere luck. It is the fruition of past good deeds, creating a supportive, energetic field around them. Their blessing is not immunity from storms, but the resilience to withstand them, the wisdom to navigate them, and the uncanny ability to find shelter when the winds blow hardest. This doesn't come from random chance. It comes from the consistent sowing of good seeds. So, to know your past causes, look at your present results. To know your future results, examine your present causes. This ancient wisdom is a powerful key to understanding the journey of your soul. If today is filled with difficulty, don't just blame external circumstances. Look within. Are there patterns from your past? Harsh words, selfish actions, unskillful choices that might be contributing to your present experience? Even if you have forgotten them, the universe remembers. But this isn't about self-blame. Everyone makes mistakes. The crucial point is what you are doing now. Are you learning? Are you striving to create new positive causes? Are you cultivating a kinder heart, a more mindful presence? Understanding karma is understanding that there is always a way forward. If you begin today with sincere intention, every positive seed you sow, every act of kindness, every moment of patience, every thought of goodwill is a step towards a brighter future. The flowers may not bloom immediately, but the roots are taking hold silently, surely. Karma is not here to make us fearful. It is here to make us awake. Many approach the idea of karma with trepidation, afraid of missteps, terrified of punishment. But karma is not a boogeyman. It is a mirror reflecting our own consciousness back to us, inviting us to live with greater awareness, greater compassion, greater love for ourselves and for all beings. It is the universe whispering, your life is in your hands. Choose wisely, choose kindly. We've journeyed deep into these profound subjects, and I hope these reflections are stirring something within you. Here at BrightSide Tales, we believe that understanding these principles is key to unlocking a more peaceful and empowered life. If you're finding value in this exploration, we'd be so grateful if you'd take a moment to like this recording and perhaps share it with someone who might also benefit. And a question for your contemplation. Reflecting on the law of cause and effect, what is one small positive seed you can consciously choose to plant in your life this week? We encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments if you feel comfortable, as your insights can inspire others on their own paths. Stories of life. Stories of karma blessings unfolding. These principles of silence, gentleness, and karma are not just abstract theories. They are vividly illustrated in the tapestry of human lives. Think of the story of the man who, through no fault of his own, was unjustly dismissed from a prominent position, his reputation tarnished by malicious colleagues. Instead of fighting a public battle consumed by bitterness and a thirst for revenge, he chose a path of dignified silence. He retreated from the fray, returned to a simpler life, and dedicated himself to quiet acts of service, teaching underprivileged children, caring for his aging parents. Years passed. Then, as if orchestrated by an unseen hand, the truth of his situation came to light. His accusers were exposed, and he was invited back, offered an even more prestigious role. He politely declined content in his newfound peace, remarking that time and truth had already spoken for him. His silence was not defeat, but a profound demonstration of patience and trust in the eventual unfolding of justice. His subsequent peace was a direct result of the good he sowed during his quiet years. Or consider the elderly cyclo-driver, a familiar sight in a bustling city. His back bent from years of labor, his clothes patched but clean. He pedaled from dawn till dusk, yet his face always wore a gentle, serene smile. When a regular passenger asked him how he remained so cheerful amidst such hardship, he chuckled, his eyes crinkling. Every day I can still pedal is a day I can eat. A little rice, some vegetables, it's more than enough. What is there to complain about? While others chased wealth and status, his richness lay in his contentment, his lack of resentment, his simple acts of daily kindness, sometimes foregoing a fare for someone poorer than himself. He was unconsciously sowing seeds of good karma with every quiet act of acceptance and generosity, and his reward was a profound inner peace that eluded many far wealthier than him. Imagine a woman in a crowded market. She accidentally bumps an older lady who unleashes a torrent of harsh, abusive words. The younger woman, though, stung, simply bows her head, murmurs a sincere apology, and walks away. Without a word of retaliation, her expression calm like a still pond. Her young daughter, witnessing this, asks, "Mommy, weren't you angry? Didn't that hurt?" The mother smiles gently and says, "When someone is angry, it's like they're throwing a stone. If I throw one back, we both get hurt, and the pile of stones just gets bigger. But if I simply let their stone fall, perhaps where it lands, a flower of understanding might one day grow." Her silence, her refusal to escalate, was not weakness. It was the wisdom to transmute negativity into an opportunity for peace, preserving her own inner blessing, and perhaps even planting a seed of reflection in the other. These are not just charming anecdotes, they are illustrations of profound truths. They show us that true blessings, juk, are not just about what happens to us, but about the state of our inner being, a state that is cultivated through conscious choice and consistent action. This inherent blessing is not always visible to the naked eye. It's an energy, a palpable sense of peace and integrity that emanates from a person who has diligently cultivated inner silence, a gentle heart, and an understanding of life's deeper laws. You can feel it when you are in their presence. You feel calmer, safer, more at ease. Their very being seems to soothe and uplift. This isn't something that can be bought with money or achieved through status. It is the natural radiance of a soul aligned with goodness. This inner blessing acts as an invisible shield, helping to deflect or mitigate the storms of life. It doesn't mean challenges won't come, but it means that when they do, there is an inner fortitude, an unseen support system that helps one navigate them with grace and resilience. Money can buy many things, comfort, possessions, even influence. But it cannot buy this deep, abiding juk. In fact, wealth acquired through unethical means often brings with it a heavy karmic burden, a sense of inner disquiet that no amount of material comfort can erase. True blessings are built on a foundation of integrity, compassion, and wisdom. They are the inheritance we create for ourselves and subtly for those who come after us through the quality of our lives. This blessing is not something we achieve and then possess statically. It's a living, flowing energy that is amplified by sharing. The more kindness you extend, the more patience you cultivate, the more understanding you offer, the stronger this inner radiance becomes. It's a positive feedback loop, and it's something that children learn not from lectures, but from observing the lives of the adults around them. If parents live with integrity, compassion, and respect, they are instilling the roots of juk in their children more powerfully than any words could. This is the true legacy, the most precious inheritance, a blueprint for a life of meaning, peace, and resilience. The person who cultivates these qualities often lives a quiet life, not needing to boast of their good deeds or seek validation for their virtues. Like a deep river that flows silently but powerfully, their strength is an inner one. They understand that true goodness needs no advertisement. Their life itself is the message. And in the ever-changing seasons of life, with its inevitable ups and downs, this cultivated inner blessing becomes their unshakable foundation, their unwavering root system that holds them steady even when the fiercest storms rage. They may not always be the most noticeable person in the room, but they are often the one whose presence lingers, whose quiet strength and gentle wisdom leave a lasting impression of peace and authenticity. They have learned to live in harmony with the universe, unperturbed by superficial judgments, secure in the knowledge that a life lived with integrity, kindness, and quiet wisdom is a life of profound and enduring blessing. And so we come to a pause in our shared reflections for today. The journey towards a life of deeper meaning, profound peace, and true wisdom is not about arriving at a final destination, but about consciously walking the path day by day. It lies in those small, consistent choices to cultivate silence amidst the noise, to choose gentleness when tested, to act with an understanding of the intricate dance of cause and effect, and to recognize that true blessings are cultivated from within. The world will continue to present its challenges, its clamor, its moments that test our resolve. But armed with the understanding of these timeless principles, you possess the tools to navigate whatever comes your way, with a newfound resilience, an unshakable inner calm, and a compassionate heart. You can become a quiet harbor of peace, not just for yourself, but for those whose lives you touch. Thank you for spending this time with us at BrightSide Tales. If these insights have resonated with you, if they've sparked a new perspective, or offered a moment of clarity, we warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. We are building a community of like-minded souls seeking to explore life's deepest truths together, and we would be honored to continue this journey with you. What was your most significant takeaway from our discussion today? Is there a particular insight about silence, gentleness, or karma that you feel will be most helpful on your path? Please do share your reflections in the comments section below if you feel moved to do so. Your thoughts and experiences enrich this space for everyone. Remember, every conscious step you take towards inner wisdom, every act of kindness, every moment of mindful silence, not only brightens your own world, but sends ripples of light and peace out into the world around you. You are more powerful than you know. Until we meet again, may you walk your path with courage, with a gentle heart, a quiet mind, and an unwavering faith in the profound beauty and wisdom that unfolds when we live in harmony with these eternal truths. Walk in peace and let your unique bright side shine.